Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. NFL hands down significant punishment to Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. The NFL is hitting Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones in his wallet for an obscene gesture he made during Sunday's 37-22 victory against the New York Jets. Jones has been fined $250,000 for what he called an inadvertent, obscene gesture toward fans, per ESPN Adam Schefter. The 82-year-old owner was seen flashing the middle finger after Dak Prescott's fourth touchdown pass against the Jets. Jones will have a chance to appeal the fine. It's the most recent instance of an owner being fined for an interaction with fans. Last season, Carolina Panthers owner David Tepper was fined $300,000 after throwing a drink toward a fan. In 2009, former Tennessee Titans owner Bud Adams was penalized $250,000 for conduct detrimental to the league after making an obscene gesture from his suite. Sunday's victory was the most convincing of the season for the Cowboys, who had 416 yards of offense in the matchup. Dallas moved to 2-2-1 with the win. Jones attempted to get ahead of the news, calling his gesture accidental during an interview with 105.3 The Fan in Dallas on Tuesday. He said he was trying to do a thumbs up to a group of Cowboys fans. "That was unfortunate. That was kind of an exchange with our fans out in front of us," Jones said. "There was a swarm of Cowboys fans out in front, not Jets fans, Cowboys fans. The entire stadium was brimming with enthusiasm of Cowboys, and certainly late in the game. The gesture was inadvertent on my part because that was right after we made our last touchdown, and we were all excited about it. There wasn't any antagonistic issue or anything like that. I just put up the wrong show on the hand. That was inadvertently done. I'm not kidding. If you want to call it accidental, you can call it accidental. But it got straightened around pretty quick. I had a chance to look at it. It got straightened out pretty quick, but the intention was thumbs up, and basically pointing at our fans because everybody was jumping up and down excited." Cowboys announce reunion with previously suspended defensive back. After he went undrafted out of East Carolina in 2024, defensive back Julius Wood has several offers on hand, including from the Cowboys. With good reason. During his time with the Pirates, he'd started 24 straight games and developed a reputation as a hard-hitting safety who twice led the team in tackles from the defensive backfield and was a first-team All-American Athletic Conference selection. Wood ultimately chose to sign on with Dallas, and said at the time, "I feel like it was the situation, the roster aspect, that was the most important, being able to compete. Really, it came down to where I feel like was the best fit. I felt like the Cowboys, in my heart, was the place I needed to be at." He spent that summer with the Cowboys but was, ultimately released at the end of camp. Wood did sign on with Tennessee, though, and was put on the active roster, playing 9 games, mostly on special teams. On Tuesday, though, Dallas announced that Wood is back. As the team wrote on Twitter, X, the Dallas Cowboys signed defensive back Julius Wood to the practice squad. Wood's NFL career got off to an ignominious start with the Titans because, after making appearances in the kicking game and getting 5 snaps as a defensive back, the NFL suspended him for the use of performance-enhancing drugs. It was a 6-game suspension. But Wood has turned the page on last season, and is back with a chance to help the Cowboys out of a desperate situation with their defensive backs. Malik Hooker is out with a toe injury and has been placed on injury reserve, which will keep him out for at least 4 games, though perhaps longer. The team started Wanya Thomas in Hooker's place in Week 5, and elevated Elijah Clark from the practice squad, opening a spot for Wood. Cowboys have obvious trade target after Jerry Jones teases improvement. The Dallas Cowboys are sitting on a 2-2-1 record after 5 weeks, and while that might not be as impressive, the team has shown some steady signs of improvement under Brian Schottenheimer's tutelage. Their offense is firing on all cylinders, even with CeeDee Lamb and several offensive linemen out. Their defense, however, is still a work in progress. Fortunately, team owner and GM Jerry Jones might be ready to pull some strings and add more firepower to the team. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones appeared on 105.3 The Fan and spoke about the potential of improving the team this year. Jones said, "I think that old sign open for business is there. We are continuing looking as we go on into this season. Yes, we're in position to improve our team if we get an opportunity to," reported by The Athletic's John Machota. Despite logging the third highest pressure rate in the league, 27.7%, and leading the league in QB hurries, 14, the Cowboys have only logged 10 sacks in 5 games. That's tied for the third fewest in the league. Enter Trey Hendrickson. The superstar pass rusher has logged 17.5 sacks in consecutive seasons, and he's up to 4.0 this season. He also has 1 pass defended, 1 forced fumble, 13 total tackles, 10 solo, 3 tackles for loss, and 3 QB hits. He has 21 pressures and has logged an 86.5 PFF grade. The Bengals fell to 2-3, and their chances of making the playoffs with Jake Browning at the helm look quite slim. To add insult to injury, Jamar Chase got in Zach Taylor's face on the sidelines, and it looks like this team is quickly falling apart. That leaves them with 2 options, either trade for a quarterback or trade Hendrickson. Hendrickson was on the trade block in the offseason, and he threatened to hold out if he didn't get a contract extension before he finally agreed to a restructured 1-year contract with a steep pay raise. Still, given the way the team dealt with his contract extension, it's hard to believe he will be looking forward to re-signing with them in the offseason. Unless they intend to pay him $30.2 million under the franchise tag, they should look to move him and get as many assets as they possibly can for him. One rival AFC executive told Between the Hash Marks that the Cowboys could be a team to watch if the Bengals move off Hendrickson. Likewise, a veteran NFL scout suggests that the Cowboys, Kansas City Chiefs, and Buffalo Bills would be the ideal pairings of Hendrickson's skill set, need, and scheme, ahead of the November 3 trade deadline. The Cowboys have an additional first-round pick from the Micah Parsons trade, and while that might be a little too steep for a player on an expiring deal, he could be just what this team needs to take Matt Eberflus' defense to a whole new level.